Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to kind of give you an overview, kind of read through the details of this article here. There is a link in the description if you'd rather go through that in your own good time. It is a sad topic. It's in regards to the murder via child abuse or due to child abuse of a 3-year-old girl. Her name is, or regrettably was, Victoria Rose Smith. Now, the foster mother of Victoria Rose Smith has already been found guilty last month in May 2022. She was found guilty of killing the 3-year-old girl, Victoria Rose Smith, and she was sentenced to life in prison. So well done, whoever is responsible for sentencing. She's a somewhat of a celebrity, seemingly. Her name's this is the foster mother. Her name's Ariel Robinson, and she's somewhat of a celebrity. She was star of a TV show, a reality show called Worst Cooks in America. I mean, I've never watched that show. I presume it's not that great to be considered the worst cook in America, but you know, that's what she was famous for apparently. And she faced trial in regards to the death of Victoria Rose Smith, her 3-year-old foster child, back in May last month. She was found guilty. She was sentenced to life in prison. The reason why we're looking at the details at this point is that Ariel Robinson's, this woman here's husband, whose name is Jerry Austin Robinson, this guy here, he has pleaded guilty to child abuse in a trial earlier this week, and he pleaded guilty to child abuse, which resulted in the death of his 3-year-old daughter, foster daughter, Victoria Rose Smith. He's been sentenced to 20 years in prison. So the article tells us that Jerry Austin Robinson, this scumbag who's 35 years of age, previously accepted legal culpability over the January 2021 death of Victoria Rose Smith, his 3-year-old foster child. And in April of this year, he pleaded guilty to homicide by child abuse or aiding and abetting. So as far as I understand, and we will read through the details more thoroughly to get a better understanding, but as far as I understand, the wife, the foster mother, this scumbag Ariel Robinson, was the primary aggressor, the primary child abuser, and seemingly, if I understand things correctly, if we're to believe what this scumbag has to say for himself, Jerry Austin Robinson, the husband, simply was along for the ride. So he simply failed to intervene. He knew that the 3-year-old girl, Victoria Rose Smith, was suffering horrendous physical abuse, which is partly outlined within the article, but perhaps not fully. He was aware of the ongoing physical abuse that was hailed at Victoria Rose Smith, and he did fuck all about it. He's an enabler. He's an allower. He sat back on his couch eating chips, doing whatever eating whatever his worst cook of America's wife provided him with. Sat back whilst his wife, this fucking evil scumbag, continually beat their 3-year-old foster daughter, until she regrettably died. This is what happens when you enable enablers. I really have a beef against enablers. Obviously, the primary aggressor is the worst scumbag in the world. But to me, the enablers, I mean, technically they're not as bad. I don't think they are. They're not as bad. They're not the primary aggressor. Thereby, they are not as bad. However, in effect, they kind of are, aren't they? I mean, they're not too far from it. If they witness and identify ongoing abuse and they do fuck all about it, then, you know, I like these terms here. They're aiding and abetting the child abuse. Why? Why would you do that? I mean, is it because you find you get some enjoyment from it? Is that it? Or is it because you're just too weak-willed? You've gone throughout your whole life not challenging people, not confronting people, not standing up for your own rights, the rights of other people, the rights of children, the rights of those children of which you're a guardian for. Yeah, I mean, enablers, I'm going to say it. I mean, look, I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to backtrack. Enablers are fucking scum, man. They really are weak-willed, lily-livered fuckwits, effing C-words. They really are. I get pissed off with enablers because we see it so often. Look, this scumbag is worse. Don't get me wrong. This scumbag literally physically abused their foster child on multiple occasions. Seemingly, the 3-year-old foster child was beaten to a pulp. That's disgusting. That is like evil. She's absolutely awful, but this standing by and allowing it to happen, I think because I'm getting increasingly aware that this enabling just occurs constantly, left, right and centre, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm quite sure I'm guilty of enabling at certain points too. You know, perhaps it's inevitable that we're all going to enable some level of bad behaviour to some extent. Perhaps that's inevitable. I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to figure these things out. But I don't know. It just seems like there's way too many people that just stand by whilst these grotesque abuses occur. And that has to stop. To me, that ought to be something which is fairly simple to stop. What have you got to do? You just got to stop enabling. Hang on, stop fucking hitting that 3-year-old child, you big fat ugly piece of C. You know what I mean? You don't have to do much to stop being an enabler. I mean, what does this scumbag need to do to stop being a child abuser? I don't know. I mean, she's got to like have a brain transplant or something. She's got to have all of the evil removed from within her. It's too big a task. These scumbags are riddled with evil. And these enablers are riddled with cowardliness, ineptness. It's not that they're not capable of standing up. They are capable. It's just that they don't have the will. Maybe it's they don't have the confidence, whatever the fuck it is. But it's not good enough. And we see enabling all the time. As I say, we're probably guilty of enabling in this situation and that situation on an ongoing basis to some extent. None of us are perfect. And there's probably situations that we don't feel it's appropriate or we don't really want to be competitive or challenge the aggressors or challenge bad behavior. We're not martyrs. We can't go around challenging behavior 24/7. We're not capable of doing that. That's unreasonable. However, at certain points, we do have to protect ourselves and protect those around us from ongoing abuse. So, you know, I don't know. I've gone on a big rant there. So let's get back to the topic at hand. So this scumbag, the enabler, has long maintained that he never personally abused the toddler, but that he did know that his wife, Ariel Robinson, this scumbag here, regularly beat Victoria Rose Smith, the 3-year-old foster child, with belts and paddles, and that this enabler, scumbag, did nothing to stop the abuse. Well, why the fuck not, you big fat fucking C? You know, by the way, I'm a big fat porker myself. I'm not trying to be, you know, fat shaming and all of that. But fucking hell, man. Grow a set of balls. You got a 3-year-old foster daughter that you're acknowledging, that you have acknowledged. You saw your wife on multiple occasions beat her severely with belts and paddles, and you did fuck all about it. What a fucking not a nice guy. Here's a quote from the enabler. I told her she had gone too far this time. I should have stopped it. Yes, you fucking should have. But you didn't. You stood by, you sat by, whatever. On January the 14th, 2021, the enabler called 911 roughly 15 minutes after 2 p.m. to report the worst. Here's what he said to 911 dispatchers. We have an emergency. Our daughter is unresponsive. She drank a lot of water. We tried to do CPR to get it out. And, is that true? Probably not. The enabler says that the scumbag mother, Ariel Robinson, where have I lost my page now? Ariel Robinson abused the victim for roughly an hour before the enabler came inside. He told jurors that he found his wife standing over the child saying, "You're not done. You don't get to tell me when you're done." Which I'm going to say here is similar to other cases of child abuse that I've read through. These parents, these guardians, put these children through physical torture. You know, they make them do exercise. They make them stand for hours on end, days on end. I did an article video review kind of thing last week. I think it was a 13-year-old boy who was forced to stand literally for days. That's right, days. Not hours, days. He died emaciated. So that's what happened prior to the little girl Victoria Rose Smith's death. The article doesn't give us too much information in regards to a lot of things. It's not the best article, to be honest with you. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. I'm very glad that the wife, the primary aggressor, the foster mother, Ariel Robinson, this so-called celebrity in America, you seem to like to promote scumbags into levels of prominence. And that's what you did in this case. I'm glad to see that she faces life in prison. This enabler has been sentenced to 20 years in prison. So I do think it's right that he gets a lesser degree. If what he say is correct and true, he never personally abused the toddler, Victoria Rose Smith, the 3-year-old foster daughter. So that's important. But, he absolutely does deserve a lengthy sentence for standing back and not doing anything. Look, to those people that are perhaps watching this, and I think I understand that this is extremely unlikely rather. I know this is extremely unlikely, but if you're an enabler, if you're in a situation somewhat akin to this and you're an enabler and you see that there is an abuser within your family, within your workplace, within your friendship group or such, and you see that there are a victim or victims that are suffering too much, perhaps it's physical abuse, perhaps it's sexual abuse, perhaps it's emotional abuse, whatever it happens to be, do what you can. Step in to the degree that you can. To hell with the repercussions. You have to protect victims. You have to slow down abusers. And you must do these things. If you want to live life without having a conscience which eats away at you, you must do these things. Again, I don't think anyone asks anyone else to be a martyr 24/7. We all make mistakes. We all get scared at times. We all back down at points that perhaps we shouldn't. But largely, we need to stand up for ourselves and for others, and we need to stand up to bullies and abusers. Those that do wrong, those that do harm. We do have to do that. And if you see your fellow man, your fellow woman, doing that for somebody else in a different kind of situation, don't laugh at them. Don't tell them to mind their own business. if you're able to do anything, give them some support. I've been very confrontational throughout my life, and I've done so in public environments. I've done so at risk to my own safety multiple times. What have I got for it? Fuck all. I've gotten abused, I've gotten hassled, I've been laughed at, ridiculed, all of this kind of thing. I've gotten to the point that in real life, I need to put the handbrakes on. I should not be confrontational. When I see bad behavior, I've really got to try very hard to bite my tongue. And I fail a lot. I still say my piece. I still call people out. What's my point? My point is, it would be really handy, it would be really helpful if other people did the same. If it didn't just fall onto a handful of people, and I'm not trying to make myself out to be a martyr or anything like that, but generally speaking, certainly where I live in Australia, there's a general attitude of, she'll be alright, mate. She'll be alright, mate. Yeah, just let it go, mate. Don't fucking worry about it, mate. It's not a problem, mate. Mind your own business, mate. You know, and personally, I would prefer a different type of attitude. An attitude of, oh, okay, there seems to be an issue here. What's going on? What bad behaviour are we looking at here? Oh, look, this person over here is clearly doing the wrong thing. You know what? Well done for calling that out. You know what? I'll stand behind you. I'll show you some support. Hey, buddy, you're doing the wrong thing. Will you please kindly fucking stop doing that, you fucking asshole? Guys, gonna wrap things up here. Gone on a bit of a rant on this video. Didn't think I would, but I have. Maybe I'm a little bit lonely. So come say hello in the chat section, and like, comment, subscribe, and take things easy. Let's do some live streams together, yeah? Let's try to figure out how to do some live streams. Let's get you regular commenters up on panel. Have a little chat with myself. Have a little chat with each other. And let's start doing that. What do you say, guys?